بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله. قال المؤلف رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him, وفي إرسال الرسل حكمة, in the dispatching of messengers there is wisdom. وقد أرسل الله تعالى رسلا من البشر إلى البشر, God has dispatched messengers, exalted is He, amongst the humans, yani from the humans, human messengers, messengers from amongst humans, He dispatched them to humans. مبشرين ومنذرين ومبينين للناس ما يحتاجون إليه من أمور الدنيا والدين. Yani they are humans sent to humans and genies too, not just humans, as givers of glad tidings. Mubashirin, that means giving the glad tidings of paradise to the obedient, and as warners, warning the disobedient of the torture of God, and clarifying for the people what they need of worldly and religious matters. SharH, the explanation. أن إرسال الرسل أمر عظيم, is that the dispatching of messengers is a great matter, a significant matter, and a very important one. لأنه يتعلق بهم مصالح الدنيا والآخرة, because related to them are the welfares of the worldly life and the afterlife. وفي ذلك حكمة, and in that there is wisdom. أي مصلحة وعاقبة حميدة, meaning benefit, welfare, and good ending. Praiseworthy fate, yani it's a reason to achieve a praiseworthy fate, following the prophets, that is. وليس واجبا على الله تعالى أن يرسل رسلا وليس واجبا على الله تعالى أن يرسل رسلا للبشر, and it is not obligatory on God, exalted is He, to send messengers to the humans. بل لو لم يرسل لم يكن ظالما, rather, had He not sent anyone, He would not be a wrongdoer. ومع هذا يطلق بعض الحنفية على ذلك الوجوب, and despite that, yani despite that this is true, what has been said, what has been stated is undeniable fact, but some Hanafis do use the word wujub, that means here necessary, not obligatory, something necessary, that refers to the importance of sending prophets, not that it's obligatory on God to send them. يقولون إن إرسال الرسل واجب, they say that the dispatching of messengers is wajib, necessary. لا بمعنى أن الله ملزم بذلك, not with the meaning that Allah is bound to that. بل بمعنى أن الحكمة تقتضيه, rather it means that the wisdom dictates it. Is very important. It is indispensable. The prophethood is indispensable. Without the prophethood, look at the humans. If there were no prophets sent to the humans, what type of creatures would they be? Even like the kuffar, if it wasn't for Prophet Adam and other prophets, they would be just naked, ignorant, like animals. لما فيه من الحكم والمصالح, it's so important because of the wisdoms and benefits, welfares in that. ولا خلاف بين المسلمين في صحته, and there is no difference amongst the Muslims about the validity of prophethood, the dispatching of messengers, that is the irsal, sihatihi, its validity. There's no difference amongst the Muslims concerning its validity. What's it? So prophethood. But the actual word here that this is going back to is this one, irsal, the dispatching, but has the meaning of the prophethood here. Dispatching them as prophets, yani sending prophets, any having prophets on duty. So the prophethood, the dispatching of prophets, there is no difference amongst the Muslims to its validity. وَعَدَمِ اسْتِحَالَتِهِ, and there's no difference amongst the Muslims that the dispatching of prophets is not impossible. خِلَافًا لِلسُّمَنِيَّةِ وَالْبَرَاهِمَةِ, as opposed to the Sumaniya and the Brahmins. وَالسُّمَنِيَّةُ طَائِفَةٌ خَارِجَةٌ عَنِ الْإِسْلَامِ. The Sumaniya are a party, a group, who are outside of Islam, with the meaning that they are not even affiliated with Islam. They are non-Islamic non-Muslims. Non-Islamic non-Muslims. Some non-Muslims are Islamic non-Muslims. Islamic, that means affiliated with Islam. Islami is the Arabic word. These ones are not Islamiyun, non-Islamic disbelievers. وَكَذَلِكَ الْبَرَاهِمَةِ. Also, the Brahmins are like that. وقال بعضهم إن المشهور عن البراهمة أنهم لا يحيلون الإرسال. And some said that what's famous about the Brahmins is that they don't deem the dispatching of messengers as impossible. أي إرسال الرسل بل قد اعترف قوم منهم بنبوة آدم. Rather, some of them have confessed to the prophethood of Adam. Here's a footnote. And some of them have confessed to the prophethood of Abraham. And that what their actual claim is that the mind is an alternative to messengership. They said because whatever rule a messenger would come with is either contrary to the rule of the mind, so then it would be rejected, or it's compliant to the rule of the mind, and then there wouldn't be a need for the messengers anyway. قوله وقد أرسل الله تعالى رسلا من البشر إلى البشر مبشرين ومنذرين ومبينين للناس ما يحتاجون إليه من أمور الدنيا والدين. And when the author Imam An-Nasafiyyah rahimahullah said, God exalted is He has dispatched messengers from amongst the humans to the humans as givers of glad tidings and warners and clarifiers to the people what they need of the matters of the worldly life and the religion. For your information too here, the word An-Nas could refer to the jinn. It's possible. So then if you're going to translate Nas as people, then it's possible to refer to the jinn as people. And also possible to refer to the jinn as men. Rijal, if you're going to translate Rijal in Arabic as men. So An-Nasafiyyah said that Allah Ta'ala sent messengers amongst the humans. Yes, exclusively. They're only humans. Prophet messengers, or the messenger prophets. To the humans, but that's summarized there because He sent them to humans and genies as givers of glad tidings and warners and clarifiers to the people, to the Nas. So might cross your mind means to the humans, the Nas. But Nas can cover humans and genies. They clarify for the people And it is the case that they clarify for humans and genies what they need of the matters of the dunya and the religion. So in this statement of the author is bayanun li fawaid risala, a clarification of the point of the messengership or the message, the point or the points of the message itself. What's the point of the message? وهي ترجع إلى أمرين. The point of the message refers back to two things: التبشير والإنذار, giving the glad tidings for the obedient and warning the disobedient. فالرسل والأنبياء يبشرون من اتبعهم بالنعيم المقيم في الآخرة. So the messengers and the prophets, like we said, they give good, glad tidings to who follows them of everlasting bliss in the afterlife. وينذرون من ترك اتباعهم بالعذاب المقيم في الآخرة. And they warn those who neglect following them of torture, everlasting torture in the afterlife. ويبينون للناس ما يحتاجون إليه من مصالح دنياهم ودينهم. And they clarify for the people what the people need of the welfares of their worldly life and their religion. وهذا الأمر لولا إرسال الرسل لا يهتدي إليه العقل. And this matter, had it not been for the dispatching of messengers, the mind alone would not have arrived at it. فالبشر بحاجة إلى الرسل. The humans require messengers. They need messengers. Very important. Man-made laws are unjust. لذلك فإن الله تعالى متفضل بها على عباده. For this reason, God is generous to his slaves by prophethood. The dispatching of prophets in itself is a generosity from God. فهي سفارة بين الحق تعالى وبين الخلق. And so it is the embassy, prophethood, between the real God, exalted is he, al-haqq, and the creation. قال الله تعالى, said God, exalted is he, فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين. Surah Al-Baqarah 213, it means Allah dispatched prophets as givers of glad tidings and warners. قال المؤلف رحمه الله, said the author, may Allah have mercy upon him, وأيدهم بالمعجزات الناقضات للعادات. And he supported them with miracles that defy nature. If I were to translate very literally, with miracles that nullify, naqidat, that invalidate al-adat, the norms. And the meaning of norm here is nature, because nature is what's normal. Meaning, what's the nature of fire? To burn. What's the nature of water? To cool and to quench thirst, and like that. So nature is norm. So al-adat here means al-taba', and al-naqidat means al-khariqat, the piercers of nature, the things that defy nature. So supernatural. I didn't used to think supernatural. It didn't occur to me. Our teachers used to say all the time, extraordinary. And so that's what I used to say, like they used to say. They still say. It wasn't until I was in Lebanon, I was talking to one of the sheikhs. And a lot of the people over there, they like to try to practice their English. And they don't speak English very well. They know a little bit. They want to speak English too. So one sheikh, he was talking some English to me. He said to me, he said, do you know what's Superman in Arabic? So I didn't know. He said, Al-Rajul al-Khariq. Al-Rajul al-Khariq. Khariq is the word we use in Aqidat for miracles. And even at first, I didn't get it. Then I understood. Khariq. So it's basically saying supernatural. It's not natural. Khariq. Super. That's what super means here. Super here basically means supernatural man. Superman means supernatural man, not normal. So I started using that. And then, Yani, if you want to go that way, then all the things they talk about in those fictional comics, all those people are just supernatural. Imaginary, though. The so-called Spider-Man and all that. Guy sticking to the wall and flying through the air and all that stuff. Okay. SharH, the explanation. أن الله خص الأنبياء بالمعجزات التي هي خارقات بالعادات. Yes. The explanation is that Allah specified the prophets with miracles that are piercers of the norms. That means defiers of nature. وتفسيرها أنها أمر يظهر بخلاف العادة على يد من ادعى النبوة. And its definition, their definition, the al-mu'jizat, the miracles, or its definition, if you want to render it into singular form, is that it is amrun. Let's turn back into singular right there. Amrun, a matter, an issue. يظهر بخلاف العادة. It appears contrary to nature. على يد من ادعى النبوة. From the hands or at the hands of someone who claims prophethood. Claims can be true or false. عند تحدي المنكرين على وجه عند تحدي المنكرين. Whenever the deniers challenge على وجه يعجز المنكرين عن الاتيان بمثله, in such a way that the deniers are incapable of performing something similar. And here, when we say they are incapable of performing something similar, some people have taken a misunderstanding. This does not mean that nothing similar to a prophetic miracle can be done by other than a prophet. It doesn't mean that anything that a prophet does as a miracle cannot be done by a non-prophet. Rather, it means that what a prophet performs as a miracle cannot be replicated for the purpose of, discrediting, for the purpose of discrediting the prophet. So the meaning is, like, if I give you a simple example, someone says, I am special. I can do a backflip. So he does a backflip. So someone could say to him, "You are not special because I can do a backflip." And then he does a backflip. So by doing like him, in this case, he discredits the first one. So this is what someone can't do. This is the similarity that's negated. وذلك لأنه لولا التأييد بالمعجزة لما بان الصادق في دعوى الرسالة عن الكاذب. And this is because had it not been for the support of the miracle or support by miracles, then the one who's truthful in his claim to being a messenger would not be distinguishable from the liar, the false prophet. أي أنه بالمعجزة يتبين النبي من المتنبي. I think the shut is on the wrong letter here. Mutanabbi should be on the next letter. Meaning that it is by the miracle that a real prophet is distinguished from a false prophet. وفي قولنا عند تحدي المنكرين على وجه يعجز المنكرين عن الاتيان بمثله. And by saying that a miracle is done when the objectors challenge, and it is such that it disables them, it cripples the objectors from performing something similar. So when we said this, in this statement there is bayanun lil farqi bayn al mu'jizati was sihr, a clarification of the difference between miracle and magic. In other words, we cannot merely say a miracle is a supernatural phenomenon, period. Because that alone would not differentiate a miracle from sorcery or from some other supernatural phenomenon. So we need more specific definition so to single out the miracle from anything else. And this piece of the definition, it's there to distinguish the miracle from sorcery. فإن السحر لا يعجز المنكرين المعارضين لمن أتى به عن الإتيان بمثله. For indeed, some magical feat does not cripple the deniers of this magician and the opposition to this magician from performing something like the sorcery that he performed. وبهذا افترقت المعجزة عن السحر. So by this, the miracle is differentiated from the magic. That's repetition there. فإن السحر يعارض بسحر مثله. For indeed, sorcery is defied by similar sorcery. فائدة, benefit. السحر أول من عمله الشياطين. Magic, the first to practice it, were the devils. شياطين الجن, the devils who are genies, not the Muslims who are genies. فأوهموا الناس أنهم قادرون على تغيير الأحوال. They gave the people the impression that they have the power to change reality. وتبديلها من حال إلى حال. ثم أنزل الله هاروت وماروت. Then Allah sent Harut and Marut ليعلم الناس حقيقة السحر, so that so to teach the people the reality of magic. وَأَنَّهُ لَا يَضُرُّ إِلَّا بِمَشِيئَةِ اللَّهِ. So this actually is a very important statement here. Because some people are confused about the story of Harut and Marut. Why send these angels to teach people magic? What doesn't sit well with them is to say they taught people magic. And then someone would say, well, magic is haram. Why would they teach people magic? And then what we learned is they taught the people magic so that the people could tell the difference between magic and miracles. And maybe some people would say, that's why? I don't know how I feel about that. But when you put it this way, it makes it clearer, because according to this, not the humans who were doing the magic in the first place so that they would even know about it, but it was the genies who were doing magic in the first place. So how are the humans going to know about it? So they needed some clarification about what it was, and that it is different from what a prophet can do. And so Allah sent Harut and Marut to teach the people. When we say to teach them magic, means not to teach them how to do magic, but to teach them the reality of magic. And when we say they taught them, if we were to say they taught them magic, if you want to say it that way, which might give someone a wrong impression. So you might want to say they taught them about the reality of magic. They educated them, if you want to use. They educated the people about the reality of magic. Maybe that helps, makes it easier to absorb. You can give an example. You can say, just like wine. Before I became a Muslim, I didn't know that how to make wine. I learned how to make wine in the masjid. I learned how to make wine at the masjid. How do you learn how to make wine at the masjid? Because I used to go to the lessons. And in the fiqh lessons, we learned about what happens when the juice gets old and transforms, then becomes khamr, and then transforms again, becomes vinegar. So we're saying this is haram. Yani, you can't teach a person how to make wine. I literally learned how to make wine. And the likes of that. And just like what we learned, what does the guardian have to teach the child? Amongst what the guardian has to teach the child is that fornication is haram, and fornication is, and he's going to teach the child exactly what it is with clear words. And sodomy is haram, and he's going to tell the child exactly what sodomy is with clear words. So like that, they taught the people what magic was, so that they would know, not so that they would do it. وَأَنَّهُ لَا يَضُرُّ إِلَّا بِمَشِيئَةِ اللَّهِ. And they taught the people that the magic does not harm, but by God's will. وَلِيُحَذِّرَا مِنْ عَمَلِ السِّحْرِ وَلِيُحَذِّرَا مِنْ عَمَلِ السِّحْرِ. And so to warn the people from practicing magic, which is what they did. كان الغرض من ذلك التمييز بين السحر والمعجزة. The point, the goal behind those angels educating the people was for them to distinguish between sorcery and miracles. ومن جملة حيل الشياطين الخبيثة. And amongst the tricks of the wicked devils, and is that كتبوا سحرا ودفنوه تحت كرسي سليمان عليه السلام, is that they wrote magic and then buried it under Solomon's chair, may peace be upon him. ثم لما مات سليمان قالوا للناس. And then when Solomon died, they said to the people, سليمان كان يملككم بالسحر. Solomon used to rule you with sorcery. They said he was a wizard king. كان يتسلط عليكم بالسحر. He was casting magic upon you. وآية ذلك أنكم إذا حفرتم تحت كرسيه تجدونه. And the proof for that is that if you dig under his chair, you will find it. فحفروا, so they dug. فوجدوا هذا الكتاب, and they found this book. تحت كرسيه, beneath his chair. وسليمان ما كان ساحرا, and Solomon, he was not a wizard. وإنما كان نبيا, rather he was a prophet. أيده الله بالمعجزات, Allah supported him with miracles. ووهبه ملكا لم يهبه لأحد من البشر. يهبه لم يهبه يهب وهب. I think it's right. Hold on. وهب يهب هكذا. Like وضع يضع. ووهبه ملكا لم يهبه لأحد من البشر. And he granted him a kingdom, a dominion that he did not grant to any other human. ومن ذلك أنه ذلل له الشياطين الكبار. And amongst that is that he gave Solomon control over the powerful devils. فكان يسخرهم بالأعمال الشاقة. And so he used to force them to do laborious work. وإن خالف أحدهم أمره يهلكه الله تعالى. And if one of them would defy Solomon's command, then Allah would torture him. Exalted is he. لذلك كانوا حاقدين عليه. This is why the devils hated Solomon. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Allah knows best. We'll stop there. Now the author wants to talk about Adam being the first prophet, and he wants to talk about the number of prophets, and to go on from there. Any question? Oh, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Barakallahu feekum. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.